The War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Perry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space. Now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats. You think you know me? You never did.
All right. Well, geez. I was trying to talk about this last week when we had our audio issues at the beginning of the show. This particular song, I was like, I don't know, are we up or down on this song? I guess it's good. It's just like,
I like the entrance.
Was such a song, and I know this is also Alter Bridge, but still, something about that old song, man.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, is that the old song is so fucking good. But I don't hate this one.
Oh no, I don't hate it either. It's just, it's for a different thing. Yeah.
It's a very different song.
Yeah, for sure.
And I like the beginning now where he's like, "You think you know me, but you never did," or whatever. Yeah. Like that's, it's a good heel move. But everybody, welcome to the War Report podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. War Report podcast time every Tuesday, 6 p.m. live streaming all over the internet. Glad you guys are with us this week. It's, I guess, technically today is Bullet Club Day, the 9 or 10 year anniversary of Bullet Club forming. And then we've got a whole bunch of wrestling to talk about. We got some AEW, I'm sure. We got some SmackDown and Raw.
And we got WrestleMania Backlash coming up.
Oh, geez. You know what's sad, Steve? I was listening to a wrestling podcast yesterday before Raw, and the podcast was like, oh, and there's a pay-per-view coming up this weekend. And I'm like, oh, whoops.
You want to know what's funny? This morning I was listening to Busted Open radio. And that's how I found out that there was a pay-per-view this weekend.
Yeah, dude.
Is it on Mother's Day? Is it on Sunday or Saturday?
Hold on, I can check.
Yeah, I think it's Sunday, dude.
That's a good question. If they were smart, they'd do it on Saturday since
they should. Because you think my wife is going to let me watch wrestling on Sunday? And even if she did, it's not a smart move.
That's the benefit of my house. It's like, fuck that, better be on.
May 8th, right? May 8th is a Sunday.
That's
Oh,
not a smart move.
They did that before. They've done that though.
Sunday.
They did,
especially returning to Sundays.
Yeah, there was a pay-per-view that they promoted back in the day. Vince never really liked to give particular dates when promoting a show. There was one I remember he went and said it was on Father's Day. It was like, okay, it was like Father's Day 1994 or something. But I'm like, give us a day maybe. So at least they told us this time. It's it's May 8th. It is Mother's Day. The good news is most wrestling fans are virgins, so they don't have to worry about. They only need to get a gift for their mom. They don't have to worry about their wife. Is what I'm saying.
You hear that, Justin?
Not him. He's an exception. I'm just saying. There's a group.
The exception.
Are you guys on this?
I know I'm not a fucking virgin.
No, obvious. Yeah, no. We've seen your baseball team over there come through the camera all the time.
I got proof that I at least got laid once, and he's right there.
I think you two are the only one that got that smoke the other day.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I'll bring this up real quickly. I'm on this dumb Facebook group called Yep, I Like Wrestling. And they just have the worst takes and opinions. And I've just been reading them all day, and now I'm in a bad mood.
Oh, go to To Be Determined Wrestling. That one is way worse.
I also got a COVID booster today, so I was already in a bad mood. And then I started reading people's bad takes. Hi, Tara. I read a guy that said, oh, Juice Robinson joined the Bullet Club and nobody cared, but Finn and AJ too sweet and everybody cares now. And I'm like, that happened in Japan at like 4:00 in the morning. Mostly Japanese. I don't know if this guy knew it. It's called New Japan Professional Wrestling. Happens on a different continent. So
I thought it happened in America.
right? No, that's Capital Carnage coming up in DC, and then Forbidden Door coming up in Chicago. So not yet. So there's
Nice.
and also it's Juice Robinson joining the Bullet. It's not like
it's Finn Balor.
I like if Finn Balor came back. The bigger news is that the Good Brothers came back to Japan, and they've for the first time since COVID, I think. They've got like a real Bullet Club. It's Jay White, it's the Good Brothers, and Juice just joined. And I know they've got Evil and Takahashi and all those other guys, but I mean like a real core good group. Like it's a good Bullet Club now. Also, they're reselling that shirt that Eddie's wearing right now for a limited time, the Too Sweet, but it's in tie-dye instead. So it's like a gray or a black tie-dye. It looks cool, but WWE doesn't like when people sell that thing, so they can only do it for so long.
Sell them all before the cease and desist comes.
Exactly. It's only available. They said it was only available for like a day or two, but yeah. Let's. Do we start back with SmackDown? Do we go right into Raw? I mean, it just feels like. I'll just put this out there. It feels weird that we had. It felt like Shinsuke Nakamura was going to be the challenger for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Then it was going to be Drew. That was the challenge, and then it was going to be a unification match.
Why the fuck are we not unifying the titles? I don't understand. Why the fuck are we changing? You know, it really like
they could
the
do a
whole
winner-take-all match.
Yes, tell us, Steve. Tell us why it grinds your gears. Tell
the
us.
whole fucking build-up for this godforsaken fucking pay-per-view was a unification of the tag titles to give us wrestling fans the fucking glimmer of hope that you're gonna fucking make one brand and stop the whole nonsense of a dual-branded fucking
Never
show.
happened.
And no, now it's a six-man fucking tag. And you know what pisses me off even more? You have a fucking champion with both belts of both fucking brands, and he's not defending either title because he's a part of the fucking six-man tag.
Get him.
I don't even want to watch the fucking pay-per-view.
Get him.
I will tell you why, though. Probably why they made this match the way they did and not the unification. Because whichever Uso it was that got arrested, the police cam got released about
he called the cop an asshole.
And literally the next day, the match changed.
But
it literally
that was like fucking forever ago, though. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But not for nothing, the cop was being an asshole. Didn't he say something like "Good luck getting out of this next time or this time" or something like that?
Yeah, he was
a smart ass
how
comment.
Many times he's failed a DUI, which is like
I agree 100%. I'm just saying the timing that got released
when the
by
cop
TMZ
notices how many DUIs
Wednesday.
you got, it's
and you can tell because they were taped last week. You can tell by the dub that was put in there as a change.
Yep.
I think, it's so strange because they advertised, and then they changed to a 6-man. What they didn't, and this could have made perfect sense. Drew wants to get added to the 6. They want to make it a 6-man. So Drew says, well, those guys have tag team titles. Those guys have tag team titles. You've got 2 world titles. We're going to make this a winner-take-all match. And then whatever team wins, and then it could just be the bloodline if you need it to be. But, like, at least put the idea in your head that the pay-per-view that you've been building towards is going to have a stipulation or something that matters.
But that would tip the hand that Reigns ain't losing.
Well, listen, what other... the only way Reigns could lose, the bloodline loses his match is if an Uso gets pinned.
No, if it's a winner take all.
Right, if it's a winner take all, there was no... But there really hasn't been a question about a Roman match in 2 years. Maybe Brock at WrestleMania, but every other match, you're like, Kevin Owens isn't winning. Seth Rollins isn't winning. The latest one that the internet's getting on is Cody Rhodes, because he said in an interview he wants to bring back the Winged Eagle belt, just like he brought back the old school Intercontinental belt, which, by the way, they got rid of again. Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm going to bring it back. I'm going to bring that belt back. And then now people are taking a running, and they're gonna Cody's the guy that's gonna beat Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes is beating Roman Reigns, and they're gonna be, it's happening at SummerSlam. Oh, he's gonna win Money in the Bank and cash in on him.
It's not believable. It doesn't make sense.
Universe. I love. Do you know how I can pull up my phone and put up pictures of me and Cody?
Me
I
too.
like Cody a lot. He's a good guy. When you look at it and you just, that's how you know if Cody Rhodes beats Roman Reigns, that's how you know wrestling is fake. You know what I mean? Because you look at that guy and you look at the other guy and you go, he's going to eat this guy. Like Roman Reigns is going to eat Cody Rhodes for lunch. I know it's not real. In a real fight, Roman Reigns wins 10 out of 10 times. So to see Cody kind of come in and do this, like, it doesn't make sense for him to just come in and win the world title.
No, they need to continue to do what they're doing with Cody and have him, show him it, but keep that match for a while. Like, don't have that. Because, you said, I mean, if he fights Roman, he's taking the big L.
Oh, for sure.
There's no way around it. He's taking that L.
And do you
Even
want him
with
to lose?
that cash-in, he's taking that L.
Yeah. Oh, on a cash-in? Could you imagine? As soon as he cashes it in and hands the briefcase to the referee,
He's still taking that L.
He turns around and eats
Superman punched the shit out of that briefcase.
No, he probably catches Superman punch into the briefcase.
Into his face.
And then he gets pinned.
Oh my God. And then they're gonna take Ted DiBiase Jr. and put him on top of Cody and pin him.
and bring out Orton for fun.
Now that's
where is Ted DiBiase Jr.? Do we even know?
Ted DiBiase Jr. Listen, all the DiBiases are in trouble right now for literally tax fraud. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah. One of his sons, Brett. This is all. Listen, I will put this out there. Allegedly, now you can't sue me. Currently, there's a court case going on. Brett DiBiase was some kind of local politician in Florida or Georgia or something, and would pay to have Ted DiBiase Sr., who is a born-again Christian and all that stuff, pay for speaking engagements and pay him several $100,000s for speaking engagements or public, doing a fundraising event to have Ted DiBiase there. Well, it turns out that they went back on the books, and some of these shows and events and speaking engagements never happened, to the tune of $1 million.
Holy
the
shit.
literal $1 million man. And they were Brett was just here you go. And I don't know if Ted, again, allegedly, and I don't know if Ted Jr. has anything to do with it, but also, what was the last thing that he did? I know. When he was still with WWE, he had this thing called the DiBiase Posse, and he would have a tailgate in the parking lot because he couldn't get on the show. So he tailgated in the parking lot. I don't know what he's doing right now. I assume he's retired and doing something else.
He's in another parking lot.
He's now tailgating AEW.
Man, listen, if he tailgating AEW, listen, if he has a table at wrestling conventions for the rest of his life, that's fun. I always wanted to do that. I wanted to get to the point where I wanted to be on one episode of Doctor Who or the Power Rangers or some goofy ass show that The Flash, and then you could just sit at a table and sign autographs all day and be like, oh yeah, I was dipshit on The Flash, $20 please.
I was that person in the monster suit. Thank you.
Right. Yo, people do Kane Hodder, and I know he's a name now, but Kane Hodder was Jason. We don't know what the only reason you know what Kane Hodder looks like is if he takes off the Jason mask and goes, hey, that's me. But anyway, let's see if I can try and figure out what he's doing. Ted DiBiase Jr., that is, according to Wikipedia.
Yep.
Not Maurice.
He is now the Vice President of Business Development for One Life. Oh, I don't know what that is.
You just caught that now, Ryan?
Speaking of, so there is a relationship thing, and I was kind of hoping Eric would be here for this. Rhea Ripley is no longer dating Damian Williams, I think it was. It was an NXT guy. She is now dating Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy.
Crazy.
Don't know how I feel about that one.
I thought she was a lesbian.
I thought she was at least bisexual, yeah.
Not trying to be rude.
Okay,
no, and
can I
listen,
ask why?
Why what?
Why did you guys assume that?
I thought lesbians, and she acts just like them. I don't know.
I actually thought I read something.
Yeah, that too.
I just have listen, I'm not one of those, I have black friends. You know what I mean? I just have friends who happen to be lesbians, and she shares a lot of traits with them. So I don't know.
What traits, though? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Piercing.
She's
tattoos?
butchy.
she is a little butchy, but like also just like the general vibe, not like just the vibe of her is like.
I hate to think what you guys think about me behind closed doors. Then never mind.
You have far too many kids.
You're married to a guy with a baseball team of children.
Kat, the day that you start wearing leather with chains on the podcast, maybe we'll start talking about you like that. But for now,
but no joke, I did that for a lot of years. You can ask Eric. That's what I mean.
Yeah, but again, it was just like I just assumed she was like bi or something. Just kind of, it's 2022. Everybody younger than me that I'm friends with is bi. So I was like, she's probably bi.
I thought I saw an article about it. Actually,
you know what? I think you might be. I think you're on track there. Somebody might have said something online, and then like it just stuck in my brain.
I definitely thought I read something quite a while ago, but
I don't know. But anyway, Buddy Murphy. That's it.
That's just the last dude I would expect her to be.
He's a little short for her, isn't he?
Right.
A little lot for her.
I don't know.
I could picture if he wasn't married or whatever. Like maybe it's the vibe thing, like what you guys are saying.
Yeah.
I would have guessed like Damian Priest or something.
Yes, that could be it. Yeah,
aesthetically fit.
Right. It's that they could be a couple on. They could be a TV couple. You know what I mean? Like if they put her and Edge, they could be like the new Edge and Lita almost.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That I just thought would be like
but they couldn't get Buddy Murphy fired.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's why he got fired.
No, I was joking, like with Matt.
But
Oh, I got 2 words for you, Matt freaking Hardy. Thank you,
Paul
Heyman. Gotcha.
So yeah, that's all the gossip that's going. All the gossip that's fit to print. The show itself, Raw, I guess from everything. Like it's a 3-hour program. I do not have the time to watch the show.
I just watched it on Hulu.
Yeah, I kind of get the recaps and the videos and stuff. It's like, it sounds like they're people are saying the show is getting better. And I guess the question I have is, from the people that are regularly watching the show, is Raw better now? Because I stopped watching right around. Yeah, I don't know, maybe
it's getting better. I wouldn't say it's better, but it's showing improvement. And no matter how many improvements they make, at the end of the day, the biggest issue is still the 3-hour issue. Yeah. So that's, no matter how much they do, that's not going to change. That's the problem. But I think the opening this week was good. It was entertaining. There were a lot of high spots to the show. There really were. But it's 3 hours.
Yeah. The opening segment was that Cody and Seth.
No, the opening segment was Roman Reigns.
Oh, that okay.
And then RKO's to the Usos, and then
where the Usos took those horrible bumps on their knees for the RKOs. Like, what are we doing? Lay out. You got to lay out for that shit, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was, and the Heyman, like you said last week, Heyman really only sets the table for that. Kind of just introduces him, and now Roman's holding his own. There was an article in New York Post today. I'm just like an opinion. I don't know why the New York Post posts pro wrestling articles, but they said the one thing that Roman's really missing is like a generational rival, for lack of a better term. Like, Flair and Steamboat, Hogan and Savage, Cena and Edge, Cena and Orton, etc.
Him and Brock have had a big.
Yeah, and that was the argument people were making. But
what, 6 years?
Yeah, I was 6 at least. Yeah, because there was that it was a singles match and then became a triple threat in California.
Yep.
When Seth Rollins cashed in.
That was
see, that's the problem, is that was the most memorable match they had.
Yeah. Then
they went to WrestleMania in New Orleans where people popped around beach balls the whole time. Then they had the same match the next week in Saudi Arabia in a cage, which is why everybody in WrestleMania knew it didn't matter. So they announced the Saudi Arabia show the morning of WrestleMania. And I'm like, I just spent tickets on it. Like, I'm here. I'm in New Orleans. I'm in a hotel room reading this shit. And I'm like, the main event of this show doesn't matter. And then this last WrestleMania, people are saying it's not a good, it didn't have a good reception. So like, Brock might be his rival, but it seems
Yeah.
it feels lopsided. It doesn't really feel, you know what I mean? It doesn't really feel.
And it's not a really good feud.
Well, people here's the thing that people were saying about it is that like you had when you had a couple guys built up to be main eventers, The Rock and Stone Cold. It wasn't like The Rock never lost to Stone Cold. They would trade back and forth. You know what I mean? Like sometimes sometimes Mick Foley would come in and he could beat either of those guys, or Triple H could roll in, or Kurt Angle could come in, or The Undertaker. And like
or Kane.
there was right. And there was at least even if they didn't win, there was at least kind of a credibility that, oh, these guys, they might do it. And now, I mean, he's beaten everybody. The only person he hasn't beaten yet is Cody Rhodes. He beat Big E. He beat Drew. He beat Brock. He beat Bobby. He's beaten everybody. He's your tribal chief, Eddie. I know you're getting excited over there when you hear all these names that he beat. But now it's almost like the warrior stares across the battlefield and all the other guys are dead and there's just smoke in the background and it's Roman Reigns standing tall over a crater and there's just no more main eventers.
Pretty much.
Sorry, I was upstairs taking care of some daddy duties. What I miss?
All good. We were talking about how Roman's beating everybody. We're just trying to figure out. Is Cody the next one to go down that path, or do we go back to like, is Drew going to stretch this out a couple pay-per-views? Like, what do you as the?
I mean, I could definitely see Drew, and then I mean, it's still money to be made. You could see like probably some type of when they do have their one-on-one, something shady going on and dragging this on another couple months until probably they're say. Maybe who knows? Maybe SummerSlam, right? If they drag it on that long, and once is Cody the one that dethrone the tribal chief? In my opinion, no. But I'm biased, I guess, right? But I don't know.
Yeah, because I forgot they changed around all these pay-per-views. I was trying to figure out what was next after this pay-per-view. Was Hell in a Cell? That used to be in October. That was like the Halloween show. You know what I mean? Like spooky, Hell in a Cell. So
Is there any feuds that are worth that?
I mean, maybe they're going to do Drew and maybe that could be it. If it's Hell in a Cell, Drew and Roman in a cage wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. I wouldn't say bad. I'm talking like a cell feud.
Ronda and Charlotte.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
That nobody cares about is going to be.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something about this second run with Ronda that hasn't felt special, man. Her first run was definitely a lot more memorable. I don't know what's going on with this one. That's just in my opinion. I don't know.
Won the belt at Mania.
Yeah, I think you should still keep her with her, badass attitude, and instead of her coming out there smiling, kissing babies, and
she was never like that. Like in MMA. She was a mean person. She
has that like that face. Like, I'm gonna rip your fucking heart out.
Yeah, and that's why people liked her, is because she had that edge. When she comes out and tries to do this, and that was something that they talked about backstage. Was I guess when she first re-debuted, she had the serious face on, and Vince was like, "You got to go out there and smile. You're a baby face, damn it. Baby faces smile. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a backwards, like old school thing. It's like if you smile, that's how they know you're a baby face.
Yeah, but Stone Cold never really smiled that much.
I was just going to say, I remember a lot of times when Jake the Snake Roberts was a face and there wasn't a smile on his face.
Same guy, yeah.
Let's see. Cheryl Roberts is showing up on Rick Rude. Yeah, face or not, he was not smiling.
Yeah,
right. And that's kind of the thing is like you can be a baby face and not have to be a guy smiley all the time.
Yeah,
you're just
Guy Smiley. Thank you,
Charlotte.
Guy Smiley.
Yeah, Charlotte.
Do the wiggle. What's that? Norman Smiley.
Norman Smiley, the big wiggle.
But yes. Get up. Do it, Vince. Do it. There you go. Do it. Yeah. Yes.
I fucking love the big wiggle. Norman Smiley was my dude. When you talk about like undercard guys, it was Blitzkrieg, Norman Smiley, Super Colo. I love those WCW jobbers. They were the best, man. But
see, look, you even want to talk another face that did not smile all the time. Macho Man.
Macho Man was not. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It almost feels like, I don't want to say Vince is losing his grip. He's an old guy. It's probably happening. But it just seems like such a thing that they're reverting back to, of like Bruce and Vince are like, well, you're a babyface, you got to smile. And it's Charlotte's such a big heel. You shouldn't be smiling when you're facing her. You should be mad that you're facing Charlotte because she annoys you so much or said so much stuff. You're not happy anymore.
Yeah, Bianca smiles on her way down to the ring, but her demeanor totally changes when she gets in that ring. Nope.
Oh yeah.
She
Games are over.
She popped Asuka with her hair, didn't she? Didn't she pop Asuka with her hair?
Did she?
Asuka? What, last night?
Yeah. I thought I saw somebody said she whipped her hair at Asuka.
I don't see that.
I don't remember that either. And that's why I'm
asking.
asking.
I saw the match.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing that.
I mean, it's a very long braid. Could have happened by accident. I don't know.
She caught Rhea on her
Asuka was
ass.
not ready
That
for
was
the
an
braid.
accident.
Oh, she caught her
That was an
accidentally on
accident
the
when she did the kip up. Her hair just whipped her in the
Yeah.
butt.
Yeah.
Hey. Maybe they need to do that for Nikita Lyons. Just have people.
Woo! Woo! Rob Van Yams. Yam Bigelow.
Yo, everybody
Oh
loves.
my God! you
Her and
your
Lash
damn
Legend put on
Bigelow.
about the worst wrestling match last week I've ever seen in my life. But I get it. There's a reason they're out there. And it's not their wrestling, you know? As Jerry Lawler used to say,
Puppies!
I don't want to watch her wrestle, but you should see her box.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, Nikita Lyons is not that bad. She has a lot. It's a whole bunch. Her presentation is a lot.
We know.
She's a martial artist. Her mom or whatever was a groupie, and her dad was a rock star, and that whole thing that happens. And then
the problem they're having is they're putting these new people. I don't know how many matches has Lash Legend had in front of people. You know what I mean? You're putting these two new. You got to put a veteran in there with one of these guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's just.
No, they should have kept her like her little segments, her little Wendy Williams segments that she does in the back, and that's kind of.
But moving to another point, then who the fuck are they going to put in there with NXT now? They just let half the roster go last week.
Oh yeah, 10 people gone, including Dexter Loomis, which makes no
Word on the
sense.
street is they're doing a whole new switch over, and it's going to be NXT 3.0 with some new people coming in. I just heard. I mean, I don't know. Just word on the street.
NXT 3.0. We're
3.0, 2.0 didn't
high
even
school
last, what?
juniors and seniors. Holy shit!
I
Just
thought
had
they
the launch of
that
2.0.
slowly escalated 2.5.
Yeah, that's what it should just be 2. Like just increment every so
2.0.
often.
Go a
It's
little
like the next Windows install update. It's a good keeps on going up.
I can't wait for NXT 7. That's gonna be so bad.
But let's see, we got rid of Dexter Loomis, which again don't understand. But what the fuck was the point of bringing back Dakota Kai, having her win the tag team titles with Raquel Gonzalez, and then they drop it 2 days later to Toxic Attraction, and then 3 weeks later she's out. What the fuck?
Anyone who ever wrestled for the black and gold, I think their major thing is whoever wrestled once for the black and gold brand are destined to be let go. That's what it just boils down to.
Unless you're Roderick Strong, who requested his release and they said no. Because they want to fire you. You can't quit. You got to get fired.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Like the Mustafa Ali thing all over again.
This guy, Free Ali, hashtag Free Ali. Now they call him back and he's on. Like, they literally got him on TV to make fun of his Twitter account. Because Miz, you're going to tweet about it? Yeah. And then he fucking jobs. And then Tommaso Ciampa comes out and beats the shit out of him.
He's not Tommaso Ciampa anymore then. Now
Right.
he's just
I was going to
Ciampa.
say, sir.
No, yeah. WWE hates
no
first names.
Tommaso here.
Just Ciampa.
I would love to see a world where it just said Hogan on a shirt in yellow letters.
Yeah, right.
No, nothing. It's just Hogan.
Just Hogan.
Oh, look at all that beef. Hogan.
But you're right, though, about this. They want to just fire you thing or whatever instead of getting released because NXT, it just came out the other day that now NXT superstars, their wait is now 90 days also.
Yep. And it's
if you're
rolling.
released.
They're going to do rolling 90-day evaluations. So we should be expecting every 3 months or so that this kind of post is going to come up where people who maybe didn't get on TV or didn't progress the way they wanted are going to go. That guy, what was his name on TV? Harland? Parker Boudreaux?
Boudreaux, yeah.
Quote unquote, the next Brock Lesnar.
They released them too?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's Harland that was on that list. Yep.
And Persia Parada's gone now. Not that she was in, but she just
I'm more shocked on that Harlan. Oh.
Persia and Harlan was a big question mark for me. Persia and Duke Hudson were, I guess, in a relationship, but Persia used to date. Duke used to date Indy, and so there's some kind of there was
Hartwell. Yep.
There was a weird 4-person triangle, and now they've fired 2 of those people, and those 2 people weren't in the same on-screen relationship.
Yeah.
Like all they had to do was go. I want to divorce. She's cheating on him with the guy she used to date. I want a divorce, and then he gets fired because then they got divorced and he left. It would at least tie into the show instead of having a show where things happen one week that are never mentioned again the next week.
Yep.
So.
And then Trustee John Bella, or AKA John Laurinaitis, I call him Mr. Bella.
People power.
All the people.
Again, but this time it wasn't even like a phone call or anything like that.
They had a meeting.
It was a blast email.
Oh, it was a blast email for the
blast email.
It was a blast email from John Laurinaitis. And everyone that you check the Twitter accounts, it said nobody got a personal phone call, personal email. It said 2 NXT employees.
Because now it's going to be, like I said, because it's the rolling 90-day thing. Just going to go.
I mean, it's a lot less phone calls, I guess. In a business aspect, you just copy and paste and send.
Well, I mean, he's only saying, hey, listen.
You don't even got to copy and paste. You just write one email and just put 10 email addresses.
No, that's true. No, you're 100%. Yeah, you're 100% on that.
That's kind of fucked up. Like,
just
how many? He's
like,
an old guy. How many times can John Laurinaitis call? Yeah, buddy, I was really rooting for you, but we just had some budget cuts. It just is what it is. Listen, if you go on the Indies and really prove yourself, we're gonna have another opportunity for you. I swear. All right, we wish you well in your future endeavors. Fucking, like he has to say that 10 times. He's probably like,
that's spot on. Good job, Vince.
I do what I can. But he also had a meeting. Did you hear about the meeting that they had before Ember Moon left? About how all the women had to dress better, and they brought in a fashion consultant and like implied that all the women needed to dress more like Mandy.
Wow.
I love that because Athena in the interview, Athena said something, and it obviously wasn't what the person said during the it wasn't a quote. She said basically they want my booty butt cheeks to be hanging out.
Yeah, you gotta wear fishnets.
Through
part of the contract.
The rest of the interview, and now online, it's known as the Big Booty Butt Cheeks meeting.
Big
because that was like that was the way she described. She's like, I just want my big booty butt cheeks hanging out. No, I like
big booty.
But you know what? I kind of respect her with that because she said when the whole thing came out, and it became a whole meme thing again this week and everything though. But she goes, I'm not here to cater to the guys. I'm here to cater to the kids and the little girls that want to grow up to be wrestlers. So she's like, they can think I'm a weird werewolf or anything like that. That's fine. But I'm not going out there to shake my ass. That was her answer. Good for you.
Yeah. No, good. You already have that with Toxic Attraction. How many more people do you need to shake their ass?
She's also good looking. They don't hire ugly people. She goes, I mean, come on. She is objectively an in shape, good looking woman that our friend and podcast co-host Eric Michael Friedman wants to marry one day. And I'm putting that on the universe for him. I think she's already married, but hey.
Celebrity pass list, it's okay.
Steven, what else happened on Raw that we should be
Steven there? Steve?
I think
I don't know. I fell asleep.
Oh wow.
During Raw or while we were talking?
I'm gonna say the podcast is that boring? Damn, come on, Steve.
No, during Raw, the 3 hours is just fucking bullshit.
And yes, we didn't put this is the ultimate reaction to all that stuff. Yes, WTF. They just release people and tell them to wear booty butt cheek shorts and all this shit. So,
big booty butt cheeks.
Good question.
But I'm gonna try and pull up the results for Raw. See if I can find what they were.
I'll tell you one of the funniest things that freaking happened though. When Seth and Cody were in the ring, and Cody's like, "Hey Seth, you're coming out here and everything, but you look like Johnny Polo back from 1994." Like,
wow.
He was like,
I understood that reference.
Damn. Shout out to Raven. What about me? What about Raven?
Yep.
So I mean, so now I just started going through the notes again that I had. Is the group that Edge formed officially called Judgment Day?
I guess, yes. Yeah, because he said in the promo, we are Judgment Day.
All right.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, but there's more to it.
So, Eric wants to marry Ember Moon, aka Athena.
Who does Eric want to marry?
Yeah, it's
Ember Moon. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so
Ember Moon.
if you remember, I guess this whole thing.
And Asuka and Kari Sane.
Ember Moon Friedman. That's got a nice ring to it. Got a nice ring to it. I can't lie. It sounds beautiful, bro. Eric, it's for you, bro. I'm rooting for you.
Hell yeah. That'd be the best wedding ever. So Judgment Day, if you remember this kind of look that Edge is going with now, there was a Judgment Day pay-per-view poster from like a decade ago.
Yeah.
Very, very similar aesthetic. Big chair. Like the Judgment Day promo poster was actually him with like a nuclear bomb, big red button in front of him. And that was like, I think it was scales or something. And it was like, is scales. Edge, right. And is Edge going to push the button for Judgment Day or whatever? And, so I just thought it was a nice little callback, but also like Judgment Day seems like the name of like a movie.
Wasn't that a pay-per-view back in the 90s?
It was. Yeah, it was a pay-per-view for years. But it feels like it's finishing move like Judgment Day, and then you hit them with something and they die. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
It sounds like an apocalyptic movie from the like.
Judgment Day was the pay-per-view debut of the Radicals.
Oh no! What the poster?
He's
tilting the scale.
Wrestling trivia.
Oh, in the poster, he's tilting the scale. That makes
anything
sense.
that's got my Eddie and Chris Benoit in it, sweetheart, I'm gonna know it.
There we go. Respect.
If it's got those two in it, anything like I said, Macho Man, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, I got it in my head.
But yeah, Judgment Day
and Marty Jannetty. But
yeah, and Marty.
We won't go there.
No.
That's not supposed to.
I'll take up the rest of the podcast.
Yo,
there could be not so much today.
We could just make a podcast called "Things Marty Jannetty Said," and then
his Facebook is my everything every day.
We should do that every week. Do something different. We have that and Virgil. That's a good one. Have Virgil. Virgil's it.
Poor Virgil. I heard he's got dementia now.
He does.
Yep.
Yeah, that's tough.
I can be so mean, but I won't.
Or things the Iron Sheik said. Sorry, that would be amazing.
That would be a good one.
You put into Ether Cat, you have to say it now.
I don't even know if we could read off some of the things that the Iron Sheik said.
No, I said you put it into Ether, you have to say it.
I have to say it now. Okay, you said that Virgil has dementia. I said he's not going to find his way to the next signing.
Hope. Oh Lord.
Good night, everybody.
Mic drop. Take care. Ladies and
gentlemen. Oh, that's funny. No, next week you have to.
My brain was a safe place.
Oh no, definitely not. Next week you should find one of Marty Jannetty's Facebook posts and read it out for us, just so we know what's going on.
Oh, I have a whole bunch of them. No problem. His Facebook page is my everything. I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm still not sold on this whole. Excuse me. Almost.
Just real quick though, do you know that he actually sold a piece of the glass for the barbershop for $250,000?
No, really?
Yep.
Wow.
Someone on eBay bought a piece of the glass that he kept in the barbershop.
That A&E show would have wanted it for free.
It's probably that. Yeah, it's probably that dude with the long hair that always sits in the front row of every wrestling event. That guy, with his mother.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's the guy that sits with his mom. Somebody said
or Brock Lesnar guy. One of those.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar. All these people who you see in the front row. The guy in the lime green smiley face shirt.
Yes, yes.
Like somehow independently wealthy. There was one guy wear the Squared Circle Cafe restaurant shirt. Like it's crazy. Yeah.
There used to be a guy at every WrestleMania with a pair of glasses too, and like short brown hair. He was in you could see him in every single WrestleMania, going from 1 to 10.
There was a guy.
Crazy.
Was the guy that held up the poster in front of the camera when Daniel Bryan won at WrestleMania, and then there was a guy who just held his own name in front of the big hard camera and blocked the shot. Oh, awful! It's people like that ruin the show. But what was I was looking through.
So you were talking on Edge and Damian.
Edge and Damian, and I think is that it for right now? That's the group, right?
Yeah, it's it. There's rumor about obviously Rhea Ripley joining, and
which I don't know why they're delaying it. I mean, just do it already.
I agree with you there, Steve. She's already on that heel turn, right? So
It's gonna happen at the pay-per-view.
Well,
but they're gonna have Liv try and join Finn Balor and AJ Styles then for this faction versus faction type thing. Then here's for those of you who didn't watch the show like me, I figured it out from reading the results. There was a match where the stipulation was if AJ won against Damian Priest, then Damian Priest cannot be ringside during the Edge AJ Styles match. AJ won the match, I think, by countout, but
disqualification,
same thing. So,
sure.
No clean finish, of course. So he won't be at ringside. The speculation online is like, oh, Finn is going to turn on AJ and join Judgment Day. But I like what Eddie and Steve were saying.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley's a big girl. She could go out there and she's bigger than AJ Styles. So if she goes out there and hits the riptide on AJ Styles to help Edge win, Bob's your uncle, man. I think it's puts the group over, puts her over as a new member. Something surprising would actually happen at this pay-per-view.
Yeah, agreed.
Seems like they spend a lot of time on this 24/7 title thing as well, which is just
is fucking stupid.
Bummer.
Sorry, I'm tired of that shit.
It's a bummer. It's just, and now, of course, Dana wants a divorce from Reggie after their fake wedding, where everybody tried to steal the title from each other.
Yeah, that took long.
Yeah, is this the shortest wrestling wedding? Oh no, because there was one wedding where AJ Lee didn't even marry Bryan Danielson. So I guess this is not the shortest WWE wedding.
It's technically not a marriage.
That's true. They never actually had it. Yeah. So I guess this is the shortest WWE marriage. I'm just looking through the results here to see if there's anything else. Bobby Lashley. We talked about him a little earlier. Sony the Roman Reigns beat.
Yeah.
Bobby's now in this feud with Omos and MVP, and catching strays out of nowhere is poor Cedric Alexander. They had this show in North Carolina. He's from North Carolina. They didn't even fucking mention it, and he just goes out and loses. And I hate it. I at one time was very good friends with him. Distance and time and all that. But
wouldn't it make more sense to keep the Hurt Business together and have them?
We've been saying this for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
We said that the first time they broke the group up. Oh, like Hurt Business with Omos?
Yeah. So you have something other than just Omos.
So like if the whole Hurt Business turned on Bobby Lashley, that would have been. It would be better. Listen, it's better than what they're doing because they fired Braun Strowman because they believed that Omos was their next big giant guy. And what's going to happen is in 2 or 3 years, when they get sick of Omos, they're just going to find another tall guy.
Yeah.
And they're just going to put him in there and go, hey, have you ever watched a Big Show match? And they're like, no, I don't watch wrestling. They're like, here's a Big Show match. You do the chop, the overhand chop. You do the choke bomb. You do the choke.
No, it's the Kali. It's the Kali.
Oh, the Kali. And then you finish it off. So
and don't forget the big boot.
Big boot. But it's a big, like your big boot only goes like halfway up. You know what I mean? Like the tall guys never get that boot up. Did they give another Indian guy the head claw?
Did they?
What's Veer's finishing?
It's a submission, but it's not a claw.
Okay, thank God.
No, I think you're right. I think this was that guy in AEW.
They gave the big new Kali guy the head claw. Yeah.
Yeah. That guy's not.
That's how you know. And that poor what's his name? What's his name in the bodysuit with the furry muff? Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah, no.
It started with Giant. This is how you know a guy can't work. When the first move they have you learn is squeezing a guy's head. Because there's really no, you just have to like put your hands there going, you know what I mean? Like, you're not doing anything. You're not actually crushing his head. There's no skill.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So Ryan had to go to a Pittsburgh Penguins game.
Oh, nice. Have a good time, man. I was at a Yankees game last week, which was dope. They won 5-2.
I was gonna say you hit the right time because the Yankees were on a cold streak earlier this year.
Yeah. Yep. I was in the bleacher creatures. They hit a dinger right towards us. I was trying to reach out with my hat. Didn't quite catch it, but
Good shit. Yeah, so he's on the way to the Penguins. I just remember that was the arena where they had the it's the Igloo. That's where the King of the Ring, Hell in the Cell thing happened.
Yep.
Again, just weird things we remember as wrestling fans, tying into arenas. Like it's so fun. Like I watched the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and it was at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, the Superdome, Mercedes-Benz Superdome, and I'm like, I've been to that building twice, and I've never been to a football game there. Never. I haven't seen a football. I've seen more wrestling matches in a football stadium than I've seen football games. What else is going on in this Raw thing? I don't know. Oh, Ezekiel and the Street Profits. Okay, yeah.
I still love what they're doing
I think,
with Ezekiel. The whole thing is fucking hilarious. Owens has just been amazing selling it, and you know.
Oh yeah, dude. I've been saying this for weeks now. If it turns out that this is all just really Elias fucking with Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens is driving crazy, he's like, I swear to God, it's him, and nobody believes. Like, I want that to be. You mentioned it last week, Eddie. What if they take Ezekiel and they put a big fake beard on him?
Yeah, I said it last week.
Yeah, and he's Elias, like, and that's the end of the gimmick. Like, I would just
That's what they
so
should
great.
do. They should just do something like have Elias on like the Titantron, right, in the background, and you have Ezekiel center in the ring with fucking Owens, and they could do it. They got the fucking budget, right? So they could definitely make it happen. I feel that'll be amazing TV if they can actually pull that shit off.
Yeah, I mean, the real motherfucker would be if this guy had a twin brother that nobody knew about.
That would be
Wow, could you
amazing.
imagine? That'd be amazing. That'll even creme to the creme.
It would be so great if, like, not even like his Wikipedia mentioned it. Like, nobody from his high school mentioned that he just had a twin brother. You know what I mean? Like, nobody says anything and
Just like nowhere. Just can't find it. Here's my brother.
Nowhere.
Just like a beautiful RKO.
Oh, I'm still upset that the RK Bro aren't gonna be.
Oh yeah,
tag titles, man. That's a bummer.
Horrible.
Yeah,
It's like Steve said, it's the main reason why they built this fucking pay-per-view, and you're not gonna get it. It's like, and as much as a Roman Reigns fan I am, and it's always amazing to see my tribal chief and acknowledge our tribal chief.
Singles match though,
Like,
come on.
Yes, in a singles. Like, come on, man. I didn't.
Man tag.
No.
Although I
no.
gotta be honest with you,
No.
Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre doesn't excite me either.
No.
I mean, how many
Dude, he
fucking times have we
smashed him.
seen it?
not gonna
Thank
win.
you.
He's beating him on house shows.
That's the problem, is that there's no, as Drew was, if you remember last year, super duper hot, one of the hottest
Oh yeah,
guys, and
yeah.
Never had a
cooled
crowd.
off significantly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. He
To my
never really
knowledge,
had-
didn't he beat him at his peak when Drew wasn't at Survivor Series? Didn't Roman Reigns beat Drew at Drew's peak?
Yeah, just to remind everybody that the top guy is still Roman Reigns, which is obvious. You know, it's fine. He's the top guy, but like everybody else is so far below that even a guy who just recently was a WWE champion doesn't seem credible.
Yeah, you ask me, there's nothing for Roman. Roman needs to take these belts. He needs to just relax on the island of relevancy and just chill. There's nothing else for this guy to do. Just take him. There's no competitors. When you start building your brand and having your characters come in and having more people go, then maybe he could come out. You know.
I mean, listen, you're trying to be funny too, but at the same time, the biggest problem with Roman Reigns right now is that there really is nobody credible that can take the title from him, and that's the problem. There isn't.
Yeah.
You can't have him beat Brock Lesnar and expect anyone else to be, you know,
100%. That was your biggest threat. Was
the only one that
back
could
Brock.
potentially do it is The Rock, and I don't see that happening either. I feel like if they finally get that match together, Rock is going to pass the torch.
Yep.
Of course. As he should. He's a millionaire. It's good. Young Rock. NBC. Wednesdays, 8 p.m.
All right, so did you guys see the freaking great value brand WWE superstars that they have on this show? They cut to the locker room. They showed pictures of the locker room from 1996. They had Mankind, the skinniest Mankind I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
Foley was never that skinny. Somebody on who's
Triple H.
Triple
It was
H
actually Hunter Hearst Helmsley and the Undertaker.
Yeah, so
Undertaker
Hunter-
looks like fucking Johnny Depp. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Undertaker
I don't know
yeah.
what they did. Was that the second Undertaker? That guy who played? No, even him.
It's not even or no.
It wasn't
yeah,
him. The guy from the Disciples of whatever you call it.
Right, DOA. Oh man,
DOA. Yeah.
and he was in. They were the Disciples of Apocalypse. He was in ECW. Why can't I remember his name? But anyway, yeah,
And
he
that
was.
guy looked like the member of the Mayans, like you said that time.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
Triple H looked like Gaston from whatever it was. It's just it was a
shit.
weird. And then they had a guy that was
Aaron's
supposed to
like,
be
oh god, yeah, we actually know that reference.
the ring. There was a guy that was supposed to be the ringmaster, Steve Austin. Looks nothing
Oh.
like they're like, oh, you
Yeah.
have blonde hair, and we're gonna put you in black underwear. You're Steve Austin now.
There we go. That's it.
I don't know how The Rock agreed.
I think you gotta cast what you can cast, man. I don't know. Some of those like with the old school guys, Andre, they did a good job. Sheik, they did a good job.
Oh yeah, the
His
Macho Man
dad,
doesn't look bad.
the
Yeah.
Samoans. Oh,
His
yeah.
dad.
Yeah, his dad looks the guy who plays Rocky Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's
Spot
a lot
on.
of there's a lot of dead ringers, and then they were just like, we gotta fill this part
No
in.
one will notice.
No one noticed. Looks just like him. Put that fucking beak on Triple H. There we go. It's him. No.
Did they put a nose on somebody to do that? I feel like they must have added a nose
That
on
looked like the
guy.
nose that Owen Hart was walking around.
Yeah. You remember the guy? What was his? That was amazing. I am not a nugget. I'm a black heart. Woo! No.
We're gonna stand nose to nose. We'd be about 10 miles apart.
Oh, that's the classic segment. Below Brown. Oh, that's the best.
The freaking bobblehead. Ow, that hurt. No.
Right? Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I love so whoever was doing the bobblehead was then like grabbed their neck like it hurt. That was
Yeah.
I forget
That was a Road Dogg, right?
that was Road Dogg.
Yeah,
yes.
you're right.
X-Pac was Mark Henry.
Yep, with the
We
big.
Hey.
Do you think that segment is still
Oh.
on Peacock?
Is it?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I feel like DX
I'm pretty
and
sure not.
blackface
There was a
has to be
lot of
taken off
blackface
either.
going on there.
Yeah, D'Lo
Yeah.
actually just said something about that a couple of months ago that he went with it and thought it was hilarious. He goes, but thank God it was back then and not today. He goes, because
Oh,
we would've
no.
still coming out of the arena.
Everybody
you
would
can't
be
have that.
fired. Could you imagine they did that today? Everybody would be fired.
Oh my God, heads would explode like in that. You ever watch Dave Chappelle show? That skit when the guys in the
Yeah.
crowd and then there's. That's exactly what would happen in today's age.
I tell you what, I was watching WrestleMania 6 a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And like, I understand, but like the whole Roddy Piper Bad News Brown match, it's like it never existed. It's not on Peacock. And I'm like,
yeah.
what the hell happened to that match?
Well, because first of all, he cut that promo where he's on one side. They call me the Hot
Yep.
Rod. They call me the Hot Scott.
Yep.
And then he's wearing the Michael Jackson glove. The Michael
Yep.
Jackson glove really seals it too. It's like,
Oh yeah.
he's really leaning into this half black, half white thing with the Jackson. Oh my God.
But I was like, wow.
Alrighty then.
I know,
Okay.
But, I was like, but 8-year-old me didn't care. It was just Roddy
Well,
Piper.
no.
It was a different.
You know, like who
it was a-
cares if Roddy Piper? and
Well,
Bad
back
News
then,
Brown-
no.
It was a completely different time. People weren't as
I
sensitive
know,
to
but
that
it's
kind of
just
stuff.
so weird because I'm like, wow, you really
Yeah.
just erased an entire.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. And well, if it
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
you feel any better, Greg the Hammer Valentine hid the face paint removal cream or lotion or whatever that Roddy was supposed to put on. So Roddy Piper had to walk through the airport half black and fly home. And he said it took like, I don't know, a couple days to finally scrub off because it was Hammer and somebody else. They hid the makeup remover. So
Oh, that's fantastic.
of course, Roddy Piper told that story, so it could be a lie. You never know with Hot Rod.
That's true.
That's very true.
That is true.
I love it. He was a fun. You never
But
knew.
that's something with how
was
he
fun.
ribbed. I could picture Greg Valentine doing
yeah.
that because he was known as a big ribber.
Yeah, I want to say they emptied the bottle and put in either baby oil or water or something that wasn't gonna work, and it was supposed to be like nail polish remover or
Yeah,
whatever.
baby
and it
oil
was-
will not get that shit off.
Nope. So whatever they put in just ended up making it sink into his skin.
That'll actually make you look like Rudy Giuliani.
Oh, it just drip.
Yeah, but All it's gonna do is make it drip more onto the other side of your skin or whatever. It's just gonna become.
He'd look like that tar monster that killed Tasha Yar in the first season of Next Generation.
Oh my god.
That is a deep cut for anybody born in the 90s. Sorry, folks. In the 2000s, you're not going to get that joke. You got to go all the way back to like 1987.
Tasha Yar, and then she comes back as a freaking Romulan, her daughter, like 2 years later.
Yeah, because she thought that the show wasn't going anywhere. She didn't realize that she was going to get royalties for the rest of her life if she stuck around.
Yeah, well, Michael Dorn appreciated her doing that.
Michael Dorn was very happy. Dorn made a career. I mean, he showed up everywhere. He was on TNG. He was on Deep Space Nine. He was in all the movies. Anyway, we're towards the top of the hour, and we're starting to talk about Star Trek: The Next Generation. So, I feel like we're on the tail end of this conversation. If we're still from wrestling to Tasha Yar leaving the first season of a
just goes everywhere. That's why I love this podcast.
I actually do want to get your guys' opinion on something, though.
Ooh, yes.
How are we feeling about the new Lacey Evans promos?
I think she should have been doing this kind of stuff all along.
Bingo.
Because it's such a good story to tell about somebody like living out of their car. Like, it's a real story of real struggle, and she made it and is a superstar. Now, I also think she could have still dressed like a Southern belle and done this, because at least that sets her apart. Now she's kind of like, she's dressed like Sonya Blade. She's dressed like Ronda Rousey. You know, she's dressed like a fighter. Yeah. I get it. But also,
so is she going to be like the female Sergeant Slaughter, come out with the camo and all that?
Hey, you know,
that's what she's wearing, the camo pants. And
that's what it's probably going to be. Hey, which is all. She's legit. She's legitimate. So
yeah.
And that's the thing that some people weren't cool about with Sarge. Sarge used to kayfabe people back in the day and say he served at least a little bit in the military or the reserves or something to kind of say, okay, I was a private, but for wrestling, I'm a sergeant. You know what I mean? Like, there was always a rumor that he actually did serve military service. And then like those what do they call it? Stolen valor people, which I'm not criticizing. It's obviously it's a big deal. So like people who are big on stolen valor kind of got up his ass about it. And he's like, had to back off that one. But I mean, now Sarge just announced Sergeant Slaughter has signed a new contract with, was it Hasbro Toys, to be part of the next G.I. Joe lineup, which he hasn't been in years. So I'm excited for that. I'll get a Sarge figure. That's very cool.
Absolutely.
Especially the G.I. Joe ones. Because, hey, you know what? Lacey Evans, G.I. Joe, real life G.I. Joe, served in the military, pro wrestler. They could have, if they did a cartoon, they could have Sarge kind of introduce her and be like,
oh, wow.
Ooh, that's a great idea.
Right. And then she's one of the Joes, and that's an order. You know what I mean? Oh, it'd be so cool.
That's a freaking amazing
Sign it. Let's go.
Hasbro Toys, hit me up.
That's a good brainchild right there.
Right?
It's beautiful.
Steve, I feel like you're going to say we got to go, huh?
It's about that time.
Do we have to? We're having so much fun.
Yeah, I know, but I'm thinking of trying to tell me if anybody's done this before. I'm going to try and put a Cornish game hen in an air fryer later.
Done it.
Can't be bad.
No.
Right? Is it good? All right, so it has to be good, but like I've never tried it. I just look at the air fryer and I can't fit a whole chicken, but it could fit a Cornish hen. So
nice.
Shot, right? So yeah, I guess we should all go to dinner and all that and pack up. We want to thank you guys for tuning in.
Where are we going?
Yeah. I'll meet you at the 99 Steakhouse in Ronkonkoma in June.
Ronkonkoma.
Yeah.
You want to see that Lady of the Lake, man.
Yeah, I want to see the Lady of the Lake. I don't want to drown, but I at least want to try and see. No, I want to go hang out and wine dance and get mugged.
No, you don't.
I'm kidding. So, yes, thank you guys for tuning into another edition of the War Report, where we cover everything from is Rhea Ripley a lesbian to will you get mugged and wine dance? And Star Trek, apparently. We're a Star Trek podcast now. But no, for all the wrestling talk there's fit to talk about, we'll be here every, I almost said Saturday, every Tuesday evening at 6. That's where the S came from. Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. on Eastern time. Saturday and 6 were like, I don't know. They were like that. Anyway, I gotta get going. We all got to get going and eat dinner. Please follow us on social media at Tag Me a Date. That's Tag Me a Date, no spaces. Put it all together. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, I said Facebook already, right? We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. Steve maintains a TikTok. I don't know how Steve maintains a TikTok account. Good for him.
We're on TikTok.
We're on TikTok, baby.
I do some dances.
Yeah. I think it was just posts with pictures and stuff. But yeah, if you want to put some,
No, I think you should do some dances. Norman Smiley. There you go.
We'll do the, listen, I will put I will give you a big wiggle video to put up on a TikTok. Why not? Go to our YouTube or YouTube is
You
Tag
just
Me
said
and Date.
that live, so now you got to do it.
I know,
It's
now I got to
inviting.
do it. Twitch.tv/war report. That's all one word. Twitch.tv/war report. You can follow us on there. If we get to enough subscribers on Twitch, you can, or not subscribers, friends or followers or whatever it is, you can become a partner. We are not a partner there yet. But hey, if you subscribe to our YouTube, and you follow our Twitch, we can get partner status. It's all good. Other than that, just spread the word, man. You can watch all of our videos on YouTube, videos on Twitch, streaming on Periscope. You can go to our archive on YouTube and Twitch. You can go to the audio versions if you prefer. We're on Stitcher, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. All you have to do is put in the War Report or Tag Me Date, and you'll find the podcast. If you're searching for it, specifically the War Report, there are 2 podcasts named the War Report. Ours was first, BTW. And you'll also see the graphic. The graphic for the podcast will have Tag Me a Date somewhere on there, and the description will as well. You're going to know it's us. So when you put in the War Report, there's 2. You can listen to them too. I don't care. But I specifically want you to hit the button on us. Subscribe to us. You get the audio version. Ryan is at a Penguins game, so maybe the audio version is going to go up a little later tonight, but it's usually delivered on Tuesday right after the podcast, in a couple hours after the podcast. So you can take the audio version with you rather than having to watch a video if you prefer to have have it in your car or wherever you take your podcasts. And I think that's about it. Just if you're enjoying the show and you like our back and forth talk about wrestling and Star Trek and everything else, then please tell your friends. Let them know we are here every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, live streaming the show. We have a chat. We got an invite here to come to Smithtown and visit Tara. So we'll have to do that. We won't go to the 99 in Ronkonkoma. We will go to the 99 in Smithtown. And that's the plan.
There's some good bars in Smithtown. Just
all right, so we're gonna have to do it. Listen, I'm all for a meetup, but you have to get back here from Virginia.
I can do that
somehow. All right, so we'll arrange that for this summer. Maybe we'll do a live stream somewhere, all together in the same room for the first time ever. Anyway, with all that said, if you want to see that, you got to follow us and you got to watch the show and tell your friends. The more friends that watch, the more views we get. And eventually you'll see us doing this from like a rocket ship or a yacht or something. So please, I want a yacht. Follow us.
I want that more than a rocket ship. So.
Right? Yeah, I want the yacht more than the rocket ship. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week, another Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. Eastern time for another edition of the War Report Pro Wrestling Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Have a nice rest of your week.